Hello there, lovely people. Welcome to my channel. This is Malevo Oljonzindi. I am a trauma-informed life and relationship coach, and my mandate in life is to help you uh, cultivate a good relationship with yourself, money, and others by healing the traumas that you have experienced at a young age or any age really, or the wounds that you have experienced and dysfunctions from your childhood. And today it is Mother's Day, but before we dive into that, please click on the subscribe button. Let us grow this community together. Hello there, my lovely people. Thank you for tuning in. I am inviting you to one of our sessions called Connect and Heal Spa Retreat in Johannesburg. If you are around, or really you can travel to Johannesburg, come and sit with like-minded people who are willing to heal themselves. So I've also added the link in the bio. Please click on the link and make sure that you come and have fun with us. Thank you. And before we start with this series, let me say Happy Mother's Day to you. Whether you have your own child, whether you have adoptive children, whether you don't have children, whether you don't desire to have children, whatever it is, Happy Mother's Day to you. You know, mothers are the pillars, we are the pillars, we are the nurturers, we are grooming young boys and girls to becoming superheroes, becoming presidents of this country and all of that. And happy Mother's Day to you too. I hope you will find this series very informative. I do not want to only talk about the bad side of what I have experienced when I got pregnant. I also want to talk about the good side because life is like that, guys. We have the good and the bad. Life is balanced. And I often see how people think that joy and sadness can coexist, and we like to push away the sadness. We don't want to feel sad. What we want to do is that we only want to feel good. So you can have 100,000, somebody can pay you 100,000 and you feel like, oh, I'm happy, and at the same time your dad can be admitted to hospital, and you can feel sad. You have 100,000, you are good, you are feeling so much great, and something happens again, that makes you feel sad. That's how life is. So the series is called how, not even how, getting pregnant at the age of 36, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it's going to be divided into three, and we will start with the good. So, guys, I am a mother of two lovely boys. They look alike. It's just that our second child is much more light, and people are like, "Oh, the boy looks like you." It means that the first one looks like me, And the boy is just a few months old. I'm still on maternity leave, and I'm coming back on the 1st of June. I've been taking some calls, online for coaching. And if you want coaching, I'm still available. It's just that I limit the number of people that I'm seeing because I have a whole lot of things to do. All right. And if you want coaching, you can still book. We will speak about the dates and all that. All right. So I gave birth to a beautiful, lovely, lovely boy. And I'm still 36. Actually, tomorrow is my birthday. I'm turning 37. I did not have an idea that there is an age thing to this pregnancy. Actually, I thought, when you are 40, that's when you can think something can happen. But still, I have people that I know that are 40 years and still getting pregnant. So I didn't understand. Anyway, the good side of it is that we have a child. We have another child. We have been blessed with another child. How it started, I want you to go to TikTok. I made a video especially for Mother's Day because last year on Mother's Day, or a day before Mother's Day, I couldn't do it on Mother's Day because it was my birthday. So I did it a day before. And I was literally sitting on the same chair. We were literally in the same house. when I did that video, and even a year later. And that video is actually about a testimony of what God has done in our lives. And in that video, last year, I was talking about how we lost our second child. In 2022, actually 2021, we were trying to have a child, so I had to stop contraceptives so that we can have a child. And I stopped, I think, around December. And in Jan, I got pregnant, only to lose that child a day after I had tested for pregnancy, and everything after that had been complicated. My periods and everything, I had to go back to contraceptives because I was getting my periods sometimes 2 times in a month, and I was feeling a pain on my side, on my right hand side, down there, towards the ovaries. And during my healing journey, I found out that one of my ovaries were not functional. I don't know really what happened, but we'll talk about it on the video, or on the video on TikTok, right? So I found out that my ovary was not functional, but also you still can get pregnant if you have one ovary or whatever. Guys, I'm not good in that. Don't ask me questions about the ovaries, right? I'm not a doctor. Anyway, I think losing that child took a toll on us, and we didn't actually realize that. My husband mourned that differently, and I also mourned it differently. And it also literally tried to creep in, especially during my first 3 months of pregnancy. We'll talk about that. So after that, we decided, because hey, we were just emotionally not okay. And then we decided, you know what, we don't want another child. It's fine. God has given us Nkosi, which is our first son. And we were like, we are good with Nkosi. Let's just, allow, be grateful, because God has given us a child. And to other people, they're still looking to have children. At least we had one, so we were okay. We just started our healing journey from there, healing from the trauma of losing a child. And I think I should do a video on that, especially for mothers who have actually couples who have lost a child, because sometimes we're thinking that it's only us as women who feel a certain way when there's a miscarriage, but also men also feel certain things when the child has been lost. All right. And then we went on like that. I knew that there was complications with my periods, and contraceptives were starting to make me gain weight. So I decided to quit contraceptives, and I was still not getting pregnant because I didn't know what was wrong. Probably there was something wrong with me, and I thought, yeah, I will deal with it whenever I was emotionally ready. And I remember going to Mozambique. So my people who have been to Mozambique with me, show up your hand. So we had a retreat last year in June in Mozambique, the end of June in Mozambique, and we had fun. If you have been to one of my retreats, you know that on Sunday, especially if it's a 3 day, 4 days retreat on Sunday, this is when we are celebrating. We pray. So in the morning we exercised and we did our prayers, and while I was doing the prayers, with a group, I felt dizzy, and I thought, it's because I've been working with people and people's energies, and perhaps that's why I'm feeling like that. But that was the first sign. So for people who were there, they remember I had to even sit down because I was feeling like I'm not good. I'm having some, I'm dizzy and all that. That was the first time that I was pregnant, but I didn't know. So, I went on like that. The next month, which was July, we went to Lesotho. So in Lesotho, I also felt like, my liver, I always say my liver was not functional. Like anything that I eat, that I consume, I felt like it was doing something to me. Actually, even before we went to Lesotho, from Mozambique, I remember my sister was here, and I asked her what would be the reason why after you eat, you feel like vomiting. And she was like, maybe you're pregnant. And I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. And the reason why I ruled that out was because I had my periods a week before we went to Mozambique. So that was not, I thought I was not pregnant. Kante was already pregnant at the time. And we went to Lesotho. I also felt that way. So I decided I'm going to cut down on sugar. I was going to cut down on alcohol. Some of you know that I started 100 days of no alcohol and sugar. And just when I was in that no alcohol and sugar, still when I wake up in the morning, I felt like I could vomit. And you must know that our first pregnancy with Nkosi, I never felt like that, I never had any nausea. I never felt like vomiting or anything, right? With Nkosi, I was a fully functional human being. I was running. I ran until I was 7 months. I exercised 4 days before I gave birth. So it was just totally different. So I didn't think it was pregnancy at the time, but now I was calculating, why was I feeling like that? And now when I thought of pregnancy, I was like, I'm not going to check if I am pregnant, because the last time when I checked if I'm pregnant, the next day I literally was bleeding. We'll talk about that as well. We'll get deeper into that when I talk about the ugly side of it, right? So I was like, I'm not going to test if I'm pregnant. The time when I was emotionally ready to really test, I found out that I was almost 2 months pregnant. Sometime in August, I was almost 2 months. Yes, I was actually 2 months pregnant when I tested in August. So we were so excited. We were like, yes. We thought that our baby was a girl, and we gave her the name Kanya. Cheers. And I always hear people, when they ask me about Kaya, because our son's name is Kaya, and they like, how is Kanya? And I'm like, no, it's not Kanya, it's Kaya. And I have a reason why I rectify people, and you'll understand towards the end of the series why I rectify people to say this name correctly. It's Kaya. Ikaya Letu, so we named him Kanya Chieza. Chieza is the same thing. It's a Shona name for light Lebone, and we were like so excited that we're going to get a girl. I think even everyone thought that this was going to be a baby girl. Then God said, nope, it's a boy, right? And voila, and when I'm thinking about this, I think I can even, give someone some motivation, some inspiration, something that you can hold on to. My husband and I had been trying to have a child, and we couldn't have a child. I didn't know what was the issue. However, I remember there was a sister of mine on Instagram. We were speaking about it. I was supposed to go to the doctor that she referred me to in August, only to find out in August I had already had a child. And the moment what stood out for me was that the moment when we let go of the need of having a child, when we felt enough, that we are enough with whatever that we are having. We had Nkosi, we had our home, we had a whole lot of things planned for ourselves. And the moment when we felt like that, it's like energetically we detached from the need, always needing something. And that is when God was at work. And I think I was telling a friend of mine, I remember telling a friend of mine, saying that the moment we detach from something, that is when we actually allow God to do the work in us. I never had anything. Like, people would be like, what did you have? Is there anything that you can tell me? Should I eat? Should I eat this? And nothing. Because when I did the video on TikTok, a lot of people referred me to some other lady who's selling shandies, I think, on TikTok, and I followed the lady, but I never actually inquired about the shandies, you know. So someone was asking me, "Did you eventually get the shandies? I see that you are having a baby." We didn't do that. Most importantly, what we did was to detach energetically from the need of having a child. And some people may not be looking to have a child, you know. They may be looking for a job. They may be looking for a relationship. They may be looking for something, a car, you know, money, or, you know, clients. Perhaps when you start detaching from the need of, you know, the desperation, because to me, I felt like, you know, I was so fixated to having a child. I remember when we lost our second child. What I used to do, I used to think that every month, you know, every month after Feb, because that's when the whole thing, the miscarriage happened in 2022. Every time after that, I thought I was pregnant, and it was dealing with me psychologically, which was not really nice. And it was creating this desperation that, the child is coming. Yes, I know, God, you know, and doing those manifestations, or the affirmations and all that. But you know what? When we decided, okay, God has given us our son Ngosi, and we are here. We are having a lovely marriage. We are loving each other. What more do we want? And when we did that, that's when God started working in us. And for anyone who's looking for something, perhaps what you need to release is the need, the desperation, you know, of how this thing is going to happen, because it can happen in many ways. And when you you know, when you have that need, that desperation, you are on the way for God, or whoever you believe in, your creator, to actually work in your life. And I've seen God working in my life. I mean, there's so many things that have been said to us during even the pregnancy, that I thought, you know, the baby's going to come out as this and all that. But God said to me, no, this is not going to happen. And today we have our healthy boy at the age of 36, and I'm turning 37 tomorrow. So that is the first part of it. Now that we were pregnant, we learned that we were pregnant. I had to now register with the medical aid. You know, there's a maternity benefit in our medical aid, but you have to register. You have to tell the medical aid that you are pregnant. And for the very first time in my life, I am hearing a word that truly disturbed me. But I thought, it's just a person who's waiting for the medical aid and they have to say this. And, you know, I just brushed it off. So when I called the medical aid, I remember this lady that I was talking to, she said, "Oh, how many weeks are you?" And I said, "I think 8 weeks." And then she's like, "Okay." And the doctor. So what happened was that